What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Drop, the show where we talk about some of the biggest breaking news, stories, and discussions around the world of boxing. And today we just got some breaking news. September 17, Triple G, Canelo, sorry, I should say Canelo Triple G. The trilogy is live and it's set. And I guess for boxing fans, this was probably one of the biggest fights that we have been speaking of and wanting to get. We knew Canelo had the options where it was a case of, does he go for the rematch with Dimitri Bivol, or does he put that to one side and fight Triple G? For someone like Triple G, I guess this was the fight that he wanted and the fight that he kind of needed. We've seen the previous two fights. First one going to a draw, regardless of whether you thought Canelo won it or Triple G. And then the second one, the narrowest of victories to Canelo. Now, as an instant reaction to this, I think for me, it's a win-win for both parties. I like the fact that Canelo moves down to his more natural way in terms of this fight. And then for him, if he goes ahead and potentially wins this fight, he knows that there is the fight with Dimitri Bivol to come. For Triple G, not to go on the Canelo phrase, but payday, as he likes to say, this is exactly what it is for Triple G to an extent. It is that possible final lucrative payday, but there's a lot of upskill to it. I think going into this particular fight, all the pressure would be on Canelo Alvarez to deliver. He's coming off a loss, whereas Triple G, on the other hand, is coming off a victory. And he won't go in as the favorite in my eyes. I think Canelo, compared to the last two previous fights, will go in as an overwhelming favorite, considering the trajectory both guys have been on leading up to this fight. And I guess for me, I'm excited to see this particular fight because we've talked about this year in boxing where we've spoken about the year of undisputed. You had Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder give us their trilogy, and we are all looking forward to and hoping for the fight between Crawford and Spence. Obviously, there's logistics there with PBC and Crawford signing over there. And I guess for me, this was one of them fights that we still needed to get. If we can get this, even though there was a little period where we had the Canelo dominance and we just thought, is this really the fight for him? Because it's just a fight that we might not care about. With his loss to Bivol, even though it was at light heavyweight, it kind of shows a little bit of vulnerability to Canelo Alvarez. And I think any Triple G fan or Triple G himself, obviously, for sure, will be looking at it to say, I've had two very competitive fights with this guy. I can make it a third. Now, in terms of the hype, it's going to be there. Like, we all know this. Like, it goes without saying, this potential fight is going to be arguably one of, or if not the most hyped up fights of the year. And I think Matchroom, Eddie Hearn, DAZN, everything, they've nailed it. They've got it perfect. They know exactly what they're doing with this Canelo deal. And I think getting the Triple G fight right now is where it is. As for any sort of predictions early on, I know this is breaking news and we will, in later dates, go and break this down with my man Sugar Ray later on. I'm a Canelo guy, and I personally think, although it's going to be a victory for him, I do think I'm going to go more on the route that he may knock him out this time around. I do believe there may be a stoppage. As for Canelo himself, I think this is going to be one of them fights where the last two against Triple G, you've had your doubters. People have said, even though you may have won the second fight, there's still a belief that you didn't deserve to win that particular fight. And I think he has to go out there and he has to put on a show. When it comes to Triple G, on the other hand, for me personally, if he wins this, it's going to be an upset, and it's going to be a larger upset than I think some people may not believe so. Because I just think right now, regardless of the loss with Canelo that he had, I do believe in boxing, we are living in Canelo's world. and the rest is still a bit below. So I guess for me, again, when we talk about pressure, we had it previously on the Buatsi fight over the past weekend against Richards, and all the pressure was on Joshua Buatsi. Even in this particular fight, this, even though the odds may not represent it when they do come out, it should be classed as a 50-50 fight. However, Canelo needs to be the one, in my eyes, that needs to deliver the performance, because you're coming off a loss. And if you lose another fight, especially at 168, which I believe this is going to be at, then there's going to be a lot of conversations to say, we had you in the pool as Mexico's greatest fighter, or one of, or definitely one of, or possibly the greatest. Then we had saying that boxing is your world and everyone else is just living in it. And now you're losing back-to-back fights. So all the pressure's on Canelo, but internally, I do believe Triple G will have that in him to feel like he needs to go out, put a statement, just to show people, like even myself, I'll sit here and say it, even people like myself who may not say he's done, but this particular fight, it's not going to be something that's going to go well for him. But I want to hear you guys' view as well. So let us know about the breaking news about Canelo and Triple G, the trilogy. Are you excited for it? What do you think is the outcome going to be? And also, I guess, who has the most pressure leading up to this fight? But as always, guys, follow us on all our socials. It is now rebranded to @StayWeighedIn on all our socials and stuff. And as always, guys, love and peace.